Word on the street is that posting on Instagram is so humiliating, so embarrassing. And one of the main reasons why you would think like this is because you're ugly. And no, this is not me saying that. This is society. And this is actually one of those key examples that can show you how the status quo affects your life, even when you do not know it. A lot of people always think that the status quo doesn't affect them, that when people are talking about injustice, discrimination, it doesn't affect them. But when it comes to an example like this, posting on Instagram, something that is supposed to be the simplest thing ever, it's inspired me to explore, to go deeper into this, because there are a lot of things that are actually contributing to creating this one safe space into something that is very unwelcoming for a lot of people. The main reason why a lot of people would feel this way about Instagram, as I said earlier, is that because you're ugly. This really comes down to the culture that Instagram took charge in creating, in pioneering, and this is the culture of perfection, the culture of prioritizing aesthetics, how things look, also the culture of comparison. And altogether, this culture ties into the attractiveness bias. And this is when people who are considered to be attractive are given more priority. This is actually a real thing. There's studies about this. The people who fit the beauty standards tend to be given more opportunities. They're considered more trustworthy. They're believed more. They're heard more. This essentially means that when you're competing in a society that has this attractiveness bias, even if you're the most talented person, if you do not fit the beauty standard, you're going to be thrown away. The people who are considered pretty and handsome, they're just going to get opportunities because of the way they look. Isn't that what the society is? Basically, Instagram is a replication of society. It's just a mirror of the things that people believe in. And you know, the uncanny thing about social media is that the culture is built by the subconscious of a lot of people. And a lot of people do not know that they actually buy into this attractiveness bias. They do not know it, but it's something they believe, and it's something that they're constantly pushing on other people because they judge other people based on how they look, based on how their hair looks. All these things are playing out, and because Instagram is a place for the everyday person, it's open for everyone. It's not like the magazines where it was curated by a lot of professionals. Right now it's just you and your phone. You can post whatever you want, but you are being measured with these standards of perfection, of comparison, of aesthetics that most times are unattainable to the everyday person. And that's exactly why you feel that it's kind of embarrassing or it's humiliating to post on Instagram. You don't fit the standard that's considered good on Instagram, but that standard is unattainable for you everyday person, and you fall into this trap of comparing yourself. But that is exactly the culture that has been created in society, and it actually gets much difficult for a lot of everyday people to post on Instagram because you're also finding celebrities are on there. And remember, a lot of the celebrities or rich people, they have access to people who can help them to improve their image, whether it's makeup artists, whether it's access to the best dermatologists. They can also access the most beautiful places in the world, and they can sell this really aspirational lifestyle that a lot of people like to see on Instagram. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a culture that has been driven by people, whether knowingly or unknowingly, and at the end of the day it ends up affecting you. You want to put yourself out there, and Instagram is one of the few platforms where you can do that. But again, all these beliefs and thoughts that you've always been supporting are the ones that are going to hold you back because they are unreasonable, because they are unattainable. Really, at the end of the day, being ugly isn't really about how you view yourself, it's how society views you. You can be very confident in how you look, you can love yourself however you are, but does society view you in the same manner? Because at the end of the day, this is the attention economy, and it's not really about how you perceive yourself, it's about how people perceive you. And unfortunately, with this attractiveness bias, a lot of people are just not going to give you their attention. If they just look at you and they're like, oh, this person is not beautiful, they're like, oh, you don't deserve my time. They will even degrade your talent, even if you're the most talented person, just because you don't fit to their perception of beautiful, handsome. There's so many people who have been bullied because of how they look, isn't it? In fact, one of the other ways you can find success is if you're someone that doesn't fit the beauty standard, but you keep on showing up over and over. There's so many people who are going to follow you because they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this person is so confident despite the way they look. And basically, when you look at a lot of successful influencers, the majority either fit the beauty standard or the other ones are on the complete opposite scale of the beauty standard. And the people who are in the middle, it's kind of hard to be seen because you're just average. This is exactly why a lot of people get influenced by Instagram trends to change how they look, to go for cosmetic surgery. One of the key trends in beauty that is being driven by social media really is Botox. You're seeing people who are 23 years old getting Botox. People are traveling to South Korea to get beauty treatments. All these things are about becoming more attractive because, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, if you fit the beauty standard, you're going to get more opportunities. I mean, when you are a dark-skinned woman and you're wearing your natural hair, especially if you have 4C hair, you're just not going to get as many opportunities as if you just suddenly decided to start wearing straight hair wigs, and you'll be like, oh my god, the entire world is now bowing down for you. These are some of the things that we see in a country like Kenya that is predominantly black people. You will see the people that get more opportunities, that become more successful, are those that are willing to change themselves to fit the Western beauty standard, because unfortunately, the more Western you look, the more you're considered beautiful in this African country. It's why a lot of people will go out of their way to even bleach their skin. Bleaching is an entire business model in a lot of African countries. Fitting into the beauty standard is a big deal because people lose opportunities just because they are not considered pretty or handsome. The other reason why some people also feel that posting on Instagram is embarrassing is basically the fear of embarrassment. And this is actually very valid. Instagram as a platform has always congregated your friends and your family. When you post something, it's showing to the people who know you first. That is one of the reasons why it was created, to bring people closer. And you know, a lot of people just don't feel comfortable showing some other sides of themselves to the people that they know. So of course this could be embarrassing, but also you are afraid of people making fun of you, the people that know you making fun of you. And this is something that a lot of people experience, you know, because the people around you think that, oh my god, why is this person trying so hard? I always find it so interesting when the people around you try to make fun of you for trying something, and yet those same people are always clapping for celebrities when they talk about the struggles that they went through to build their own empires or to build their own careers. People are always cheering, but when the person next to you is really trying to build something, you're laughing at them. That's very weird. But there's also another part of this embarrassment that you might be feeling because of family and friends. It's because you're very insecure in what you're creating. When you do not believe in what you're creating, then you are prioritizing what other people are going to think about you. And a lot of the times, maybe even your friends and family do not even care about what you're posting. Maybe they're even more than happy to support you, but because you're so insecure with yourself and you're doubting yourself, you start creating these voices and then you attach them to family and friends. Then you're telling yourself, oh, this is what they will think. But that is what you think about yourself. Unless your family and friends have told you something about your content, everything else that you have is just delusions about what they might be thinking. There's also the fact that a lot of people are so entitled. They think that they just need to post one thing on Instagram and then they are going to go viral and everything is going to fall on their lap. It doesn't work like that. This is the attention economy where there's so many other people, there's so much content out there, there's a lot of saturation. It's going to take some time for you to actually get the attention of people. You have to earn it. Earn that by being consistent and creating valuable content. By valuable, it should be informative, entertaining, or one that is educating people. For you to be successful as a creator or influencer today on a platform like Instagram, where millions of people, billions of videos are being posted, you're gonna have to do a lot more. And you know, when people are like, oh my god, why is it that people viewed my content but they didn't like? First of all, maybe they just didn't like it. People don't have to like something that they didn't like. And also, there are people who just don't want to support you. Yeah, maybe they watched your video, it was nice, it's something that they're interested in, but they're not interested in supporting you specifically because maybe you don't fit their perception of beautiful, or maybe they're jealous of you. Such kinds of people exist, and in fact there's some other people who will follow you for the sole reason of seeing you go down. I've gotten some comments behaving like, oh my god, I can't wait for you, I don't know, to get in your 30s and 40s and regret that you didn't have children. And I'm like, wow, so you are actually following me so that you can just see me regret my own choices? I must be so important that you're so invested in my life. And this is one of the reasons why I deeply believe if you want to be a creator, go to business school. Yeah, go study marketing, go study communication, go study public relations, But also, if you can go to a business school, do so. We're at a point in time where social media is not social anymore, and I speak a lot more about this in my marketing podcast. This is a place of business. If you want to create content right now, you should have a strategy. You should be serious about it. If you're just posting for the sake of posting, that doesn't work anymore, unfortunately, and that is going to burn you out, or that is going to give you higher levels of unsatisfaction. This brings me to one of the other reasons why you might feel that posting on Instagram is so humiliating. It's because growing on Instagram is actually harder. It's more like YouTube, but I would even say harder than YouTube, because there's a lot more competition on Instagram, the short form platform, and it means that the barrier for entry is much lower. And because a lot of people have experienced some sort of instant gratification with TikTok, where you can post literally today your first post and it can go viral, that is instant gratification. It's very hard to get that on Instagram. You have to be consistent. You really have to be consistent, and it might take years, and especially if you do not fit the beauty standard, my goodness, you might be doing it for years before you see any real traction. So it's really important for you to ask yourself, is this something that you want to do? Goodness, the children are so loud. But anyway, you have to really define why you are creating an Instagram. What is your end goal? Because if you don't have clear goals, it's just going to be more frustrating than rewarding. Something else that will also contribute to the reasons why Instagram might feel embarrassing to post on. A lot of people are actually not commenting on Instagram, and this behavior is actually moving to TikTok, where people are not commenting. And you might be wondering, oh, maybe it's because people don't like my content and all that, but a lot of times, no. Nowadays, a lot of conversation on Instagram is not happening in the comment section, it's happening in the DM. And because for a very long time, comments have been a metric that measures engagement, a lot of people are still stuck in that mentality where they're thinking, oh my God, if people are not commenting, it means my content is not good. It doesn't necessarily mean that way. For me, I look at Instagram as sort of a billboard or a magazine, because it's very much aesthetic focused, and when you really think about it that way, then it doesn't really feel so weird, because when you're reading a magazine, there are no comments. It's you and your own thoughts, and then maybe you can discuss it with somebody else. When you see a billboard out there, you're not waiting for comments, being like, oh my God, no one has commented on this billboard. The most important thing to really remember when it comes to these sentiments that a lot of people seem to have on social media, like posting on Instagram is so embarrassing. A lot of times this is just crowd malaise. You know, when someone has this idea, other people just run with it. It's important to actually take a step back and really dissect things so that you don't end up limiting yourself just because of what other people are thinking. Yes, posting on Instagram might be embarrassing, but if you really want to be successful on the platform, you have to go ahead and go past that fear of embarrassment, because whether you like it or not, a lot of businesses and brands still find Instagram as one of the most valuable platforms, especially for business to consumer businesses. So if that is something that you want to tap into, then you will have to get over all the sentiments that people have about it, and you have to figure it out for yourself. You always have to remember that just because it's not working for other people, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. And also, when you hear people talking about things, you should ask yourself, are they talking about it because they have bitterness that it didn't work out for them instantly as they thought? Or is it coming from people who have actually done the work, done the research? Is it coming from people who have actually been there and done that, or people who are just talking for the sake of talking because they're so afraid of going after whatever they want? And ultimately, this is actually proof of the fact that you can't outrun society. Societal standards are going to follow you everywhere, and the only way that you can change how society works, it starts with you, because it is individuals that make society. It's individuals that end up creating spaces like Instagram that ends up affecting you when you decide to step up and do something, because you realize all these things, all these beliefs and thoughts that you had that supported whatever societal standards, they're actually the real hurdles that you have to go through, and it's actually harder to fight against them. And that's why you always see a lot more people would rather conform. They would rather change how they look than fight for a society that accepts people and that doesn't measure people based on how they look.